It's time for our market segment. Eric Osterhaus, Paragon Ag Advisors, is here with us. Okay, I want to back up first of all, talk about Monday. That was a little bit of a surprise in that grain stocks report.
Yes, like we've said for a while now, that's one in a row for positive reports. We hope to get a repeat of that again soon. But again, nice numbers. I think a lot of that that you saw was the result of them backing off some of their production estimates for last year's crop, believe it or not. Took a few months for us to get those revisements, but I guess they finally came in. And you can tell by how the market reacted that it was a surprise. And you saw us bounce right up to some of that technical resistance numbers over the next couple days. A pleasant surprise. We need a lot more of them.
We did fill that gap up to 391 3/4 before the middle of the week on that last move. Does this clear the way to maybe take us up to the $4 handle?
It certainly does, if we can get something to go along with it. Bull markets always have to be fed. That's one of those old sayings that are out there. So we need to keep getting some positive news out there. And certainly I think you're going to attract some selling simply because we are into that harvest time frame, in particular for corn and soybeans. So this rally that we've seen, I think some folks out there saw this as an opportunity to play a little catch up, and probably wise that they did. But again, it puts enough out there. Again, we talked a little bit the last couple of weeks how the people who are short the market might be getting a little uncomfortable in front of all these reports and harvest, and I think you've seen some of the results of that. Now, if we could just get some positive news, maybe from ethanol, maybe with a trade deal, something along those lines, I think you could see that market make that next little move higher.
We had the ethanol report that was out Wednesday. It showed that production had just a little bit of an increase. What bothers me about that is we still had a big increase in stocks. We didn't have any imports, but we did see a little bit of a bounce over in the ethanol sale or ethanol price itself, and kind of following the trend with gasoline prices. Maybe that'll take a little bit of edge off. What about wheat? Yeah, we had some pretty friendly numbers for wheat, but it just couldn't hold on. It just kind of seemed to just lay down and give up.
It really did. I mean, we had an initial little boost higher, but again, once it got up to its technical support resistance was a little tighter than some of the others. And so, again, there is some news out there percolating in the background in regards to wheat. I mean, Australia continues to be in a drought. Their crop is definitely being hurt by that. But again, I think a lot of it is at the same time, it's such a big export market also in wheat. And the issue that we're having with the U.S. dollar, if you look at that chart making new highs here this last week, again, it's really hurting us on this export market. And I still feel like that's a key for us, is to actually win some of these bids that are out there internationally. We just have not been doing that. There's other markets out there that have been taking their share of that. And we're yet to win consistently enough in that to really chase some of the shorts out of the wheat market. So until we have a weather story domestically, and it's just not the right time of the year for that to actually take hold of yet. So I think it's just a timing issue.
All right. We've got a crop report coming up later on this week. It'll be out this Thursday, 11 o'clock Central Time. It'll have the world supply and demand estimates. It'll have crop production numbers. The trade already kind of seems to be getting ready for that. And I've heard some in the trade say, well, maybe there could be some good news to take us to this next level in corn and soybeans. Wheat, I haven't heard that much about yet.
Yeah, corn and soybeans, there's, again, with the release of this last report that surprised us to the upside there, I think there's a little more hopeful optimism out there now that maybe we might see something reflected even on this report yet. Typically, this report isn't one of the more important ones when it comes to the monthly supply and demand. There shouldn't really be any big surprises on this one, certainly not like this quarterly stocks report that we just had. But again, if we can get through that report even without anything, sometimes just outwardly bearish, if we can just get a more neutral expected report, I think the market turns around and looks for other things to trade, and maybe even some of that residual from this last positive move that we had from that quarterly report. So it shouldn't really have that big of an effect, I don't feel.
Okay, Eric, thank you very much. Eric Osterhaus, Paragon Ag Advisors. Stay tuned because we're going to wrap up the program coming up in just a moment.